Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Griefdrums, and today I wanted to discuss why Arma, a game that is now, 8 years old, is still worth picking up.
Inbound 1-1, this is Nightmare checking in with you. Flight of 1 Harrier holding south at approximately 5 kilometers, 0+45 time on station. Ordnance to follow. Air vehicle is loaded with 4 times GBUs and 2-4 Hydras, ready for your work. Over.
Sonic Factory, reading you loud and clear. We're currently being engaged from that location. We'll see if we can get eyes on any civilians. If not, you'll be free to engage.
Nightmare copies all. Out.
You need to continue? Yeah, I'm good, but I'm bleeding. I'm not in good shape. I just get someone check, that's it.
GBU away. Inbound 1-1, Nightmare. Splash. Awaiting BDA. Over.
Good offense. That's beautiful from here.
That was clean. Now, just to give you a bit of background on myself, I have been serving for 16 years in the military, and I still have several years to go before I finally hit my pension. I'm ready to be there about now, but nevertheless, I kind of wanted to discuss why I've moved from games like Rainbow Six over to games like Arma and, slightly more tactical kind of games, but more specifically why Arma is so good despite its age. It's about as close as you're going to get to the real thing, honestly. It kind of is. The way that the servers work, there is a lot of hurry up and wait. There's a lot of standing around for extended periods of time, trying to figure out what's going on, and then out of nowhere, everything just kicks off. And then before you know it, you're back to sort of standing around, rearming, and doing all that kind of stuff again. And that is about as accurate as the portrayal of the military could ever be. There is a lot of standing around and waiting. Now, Arma itself is an older game. Graphically, it still looks pretty good. The animations, some of them are a bit off, but the thing that really keeps the game going is the modding capability and the community that are involved in that. Even now, very recently, Ace and Cup, two of the quite large mods that are heavily utilized by a lot of servers, are still getting updates. There was an update to one of the tanks recently, or a few of the tanks, should I say, on Cup, where you can physically now sit inside the tank, you can have a good look around, you can physically communicate with people that are sat in your tank, rather than just being sort of stuck in a screen like most first-person shooters or most games with tanks will have you be. Normally you jump into the tank and all you can see is through the screen, but that's not the case with this. You can physically come out of that screen and you can be looking through the little slits for the driver, or you can turn out so your head is sticking out of the tank, or you can turn in and, like I say, you can turn and look at everybody in the tank. And little features like that really add to the immersion, and it makes the game just so friggin' compelling to play. On top of that, the ability for Ace to be utilized, which is it's the Advanced Combat Environment, it's called. It just adds new ways to interact with things so that you can physically pick up all sorts of items, and it just sort of expands the game out. There is an entire medical system within there that takes it from needing just a first aid kit or a medical kit to instead actually requiring you to tourniquet limbs, to provide packing bandages followed by field dressings, or, elastic bandage or quick clot. There's morphine, there's epinephrine, you have to worry about heart rates. There is all sorts of little elements like that, If somebody goes down, you need to provide them with saline or blood to make sure that they are, fighting fit again in no time. Now, that right there is a pretty cool feature, and I can understand why not everybody would like that. Personally, for me, I really enjoy that aspect to it. I think it's great because it enables servers to open up the scope a lot more. Sometimes people don't want to be running around all night in the thick of it. Sometimes you just want to be doing the medical side of things, maybe even back at the base. Maybe you want to be the guy that is receiving the casualty evacuations and you are working at a field hospital somewhere trying to recover these people. It's like a mini game inside of the main game. On top of that, there's elements like close air support. You know, if you're on a larger server with a bunch of friends or, you know, a decent group of people, your job could be solely to provide. My voice just cracked there. That sounded like I just hit puberty. It could be solely to provide close air support. You know, you could be circling the AO for an extended period of time, not doing a massive amount, just sort of drip feeding information back to the headquarters, and then you get your call. You know, the troops are in contact on the ground. They're calling in close air. You could be in an A-10. You could be in an F-35. Hell, with the mods, you can be in pretty much anything you want. You know, I did a lot of flying in Apache gunships, AH-64Ds, on a recent Liberation campaign that we did, and it was a hell of a lot of fun. And at the time, we were using a mod called RHS. Since then, I've actually been playing around with other mods, and there is one which is called the AH-64D Official Project, in which you quite literally have to start the battery, you have to turn the APU on, you have to take the rotor blade lock off so your blades can spin, you then have to idle and start the engines up properly, and I tell you what, it makes it so damn immersive. It really does. But I guess that's the point of this video. The point I'm trying to make is the customization with Arma means that you can make the game to however you want it to be. You're not forced into this sort of route of you have to play the game this way. Instead, you can build your own missions. You can decide the enemies that you're fighting against. You can decide who you're playing as. The scope is endless. And that is what has really sort of gripped me and drawn me into this game and allowed me to just lose hours and hours and hours of my life. You know, I have spent 2,000 hours in game now, which on the grand scheme of things, compared to a lot of other people, is nothing. But I have owned the game for 6 months. I work full-time in the military, and I somehow, despite, you know, having a family to look after and all that kind of stuff, I still have somehow managed to rack up 2,000 hours in under 6 months. That to me is mind-blowing, and I don't even realize that I'm doing it. I genuinely don't even realize that I am investing so much time in the game until I see that number climbing. The Eden editor alone is a great example of where a lot of my time goes. I purchased Arma and I didn't really enjoy the single-player campaign. I'll be brutally honest with you. I thought that the enemies were a little bit sort of futuristic for my liking. I wanted it sort of more based in reality rather than the whole 2035 thing that Arma 3 is. And then I discovered all of the mods and I purchased my own server and decided I was going to get a load of people in, and we're trying to build that server up. But for the time being, we've had a solid sort of 15 people or so. And even that has allowed us to have different firing squads moving around, air support, helicopters coming in and out, and, you know, like a headquarters situation. I have just fallen so in love with the game. And I really cannot recommend enough to people to purchase this game, to jump on a server and to try it with a group. The base game itself, the core game, isn't the best thing ever. It's mediocre. It's pretty good. There's a lot of cool elements to it, but the modding capabilities have just opened the game up so much. You know, if you want radios that work in a certain distance, you know, if you're like 2 kilometers away from people, the short range starts fading out, so you need a long range radio, so your squad leaders have those. It's little aspects like that that make the game just so amazing. Is it buggy? Yeah. Sometimes you get vehicle physics that just don't make any sense, like a tank could crash into a quad bike and the tank will go flying 400 miles into the air. But the scope is just endless. It's limitless. If you want to record cinematic videos, you can do that. If you want to make your own missions, you can do that. You can make whatever you want. We've had missions where we're playing as some sort of like SAS sort of group, all black gear, MP5s with suppressors, moving around stealthily or trying to be stealth. We've had other operations where we're playing as a PMC group, or you're playing as the Russians, or, you know, you can do whatever the hell you want. There are people out there with Stormtrooper servers where you are literally playing Star Wars or Halo or whatever the hell they've modded into the game. Now, don't make the mistake I did, though. Don't purchase at full price. I went onto Steam, I purchased it at full price, and then I purchased all the DLCs at full price to find that a week later there was a Steam sale, and it had gone from about £30 down to about £8, and the DLCs were about 60 quid to 100, something like that. It was nearly £100 I spent, and the DLCs went on sale for about 20 quid in total. So all in all, wait till the Steam sale, but pick it up. When you do, jump into my Discord, come and join us, and we play twice a week. We're going to try and build it up even more. The more people we have in the server, the better it's going to get. And, you know, just try it out. Trust me. You'll have a laugh. You will end up having a laugh. Anyway, ladies and gents, I'm going to leave it at that. That's all I wanted to go through. But hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully it's given you a little bit of an insight into just how much scope there is within this game. If you did enjoy the video, please consider hitting that thumbs up. If you don't already, make sure to subscribe. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay reckless and relentless.